So I would just like to welcome everyone to the Light Beam Hour, and with our special guest Karen Paolino. And just to give you a little background, my name is Cecily MacArthur, and I'm a spiritual teacher, coach, speaker, and writer. And my life mission is to help people connect with spirit to awaken their authentic selves, discover their true purpose, embrace change and responsible choices, and create the life of their dreams. You like
Beautiful.
that? I like that. That's nice. So I'm here with Karen Paolino, who I'm very excited. She is just an amazing woman and friend and teacher. And she's also the author of Everything Guide to Angels, a comprehensive guide to discovering the wisdom and healing of the power of the angelic realm, and What Would Love Do, a channeled 40-day journey to transform your fears into miracles of love. I've done this 40-day journey. It's quite amazing. And as a teacher and an intuitive, Karen has been blessed with the opportunity to help thousands of people through her books, workshops, certification programs, and private sessions. Karen's website is www.createheaven.com. All right, so we'd like to get started, and would just like Karen to talk a little bit more about how did all this happen, this heaven on earth and angel work. What got you into this kind of work, Karen?
Well, welcome, everyone. I'm very excited that Cecily asked me to join her on her special show, and I want to ask everyone before I go into my story is to just take a nice deep breath and let go of everything that happened before you came on the call tonight. And take another nice deep breath and let go of everything that's going to happen after you're on the call. And just breathe into the present moment. I know there's a tendency sometimes when you're on calls or listening to the audio of the show that you might get distracted, but I'm going to really encourage you to try and stay in the moment and be present to the information, because you'll have the opportunity to receive so much for yourself in guidance and wisdom tonight, and also messages, because I work as a messenger for the angelic realm. And so if you came on the call, there's a part of you searching, or there's a part of you that was drawn to this call for a reason. So if you stay present and be open, then you can receive your highest and best, better than you could ever imagine tonight. And that is my prayer for everyone on the call. So the angels are already present, and they're with each and every one of us. And I'm going to talk more about who the angels are and how they can help us. But Cecily, you asked me about my story and how did I even come into doing this. And I think it's important to share my story, because my work is to be a messenger for the angelic realm, but also to help people remember that they're never, ever alone on their journey, and there is help, support, and guidance all around us from these higher realms that can help us in all aspects of our life. And what happened to me and how I came to this journey, I'm no different than anybody else, and so if I can be communicating with the angelic realm and receiving divine guidance, anyone can. So my story is that 13 years ago, I was very busy in my life. I was a sales rep for many different toy manufacturers. My children were young. My daughter Joelle was 4, and my son Justin was 18 months. And I pretty much, looking back, was on a roller coaster of life. I worked 2 different jobs. I was a mother and trying to balance my life, and also wife at the time. And I was surprised when I went for my checkup right before Christmas time that they found a lump on my throat, and soon before Christmas I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and they told me I would have to have surgery. And then they thought that was the completion. If they took my thyroid out, I'd be healed. But they found more cancer, and I ended up going into radiation treatment. So for probably about from December to August, I was on a journey of healing and taking care of myself and physically getting rid of the cancer. So during that process, I was obviously very scared. I had many questions. I was seeking guidance. I was really searching why I was healthy, why did this happen to me? And I knew something was happening that was much more on a deeper level, that if I felt good physically and I was taking care of myself physically, what was going on with me emotionally and on the mind-body level? So I really started to get into the mind-body and spirit connection. And one of the things that I did was I attended a meditation class for relaxation. And during this meditation class, I was guided visually to go into a garden during the meditation and sit in peace and experience the garden. But also, if I wanted to, I could invite anybody that wanted to come sit with me in the garden. And my first impression was that I felt somebody holding my hand when I asked if anybody wanted to sit with me. And then I felt the presence next to me, but at that point, I really didn't see anything other than I could feel a presence and maybe saw some white energy next to me. I didn't even know it was called energy at the time. And I remember coming out of meditation, and the instructor said, does anybody want to share anything? And I thought, oh, there's no way I'm making this whole thing up, But I remember getting in my car that night and feeling this overwhelming sense of peace that was very unusual for me. I thought, my God, I feel really relaxed. I feel peaceful. And that's what guided me to go back to this meditation class on a weekly basis. Mm. And during that process, I discovered when at one point, the facilitator asked if the name of, and I heard it was my guardian angel. Mm. And I ended up, again, not sharing anything with anyone, but when I went through my radiation treatment, I had to spend about a 2-week period in isolation where I couldn't be around other people, and I spent some of it in hospital and some of it at home. And during that time, I really never felt alone because I felt my guardian angel was with me the entire time. Oh. And I had many synchronicities and coincidences happening during that time to also validate that I was not alone and something was happening to me, and I was on this journey of going through the cancer for a reason. And I kept hearing that. You're going to be okay. You need to go through this, and you're not alone.
Mm. That's great.
So in August, I started to really start feeling better, and I was teaching aerobics before the cancer, and I decided to go back and teach aerobics again. And one night I was at the gym, and this girl at the gym started talking about having a psychic come to her house. So it was like, I couldn't believe it, but it came right out of my mouth, and I asked if I could come to this gathering with this psychic. I invited myself to the party. I thought, ooh, that's kind of bold. And plus, I didn't know anybody that was going to be at this party. But something was telling me, even though I'd never been to a psychic, I only heard crazy things about psychic, didn't really trust it. Something was telling me, you got to go. And so I drove the whole way there, and I remember feeling, scared. What if I just got done with the cancer? What if she tells me I'm going to die? All these crazy thoughts. And I ended up going into the party, and I got a number, and I finally went down to see the psychic. Well, she ended up telling me everything that had happened to me. I wasn't going to die, but I did at one point have a choice if I was going to stay or go, but I chose to stay because I really had more to do and more to experience. But then Cecily, she described my guardian angel exactly how I saw her in meditation.
Wow.
Told me some of the things that only my guardian angel had told me, and I thought, and I couldn't even speak to her. I was speechless. I left this party, and I was like, there was something so significant for me to realize that somebody that didn't know who I was, knew nothing about my life, could tell me everything and also could see my guardian angel. Mm-hmm. And so that was it. I was on a journey after that. I was meditating every day. I was buying all books on angels. I was researching, taking some classes. I really wanted to know more and more about the angelic realm. And that was the beginning of my journey. And now I look back, and I've written 2 books, one of them specifically, The Everything Guide to Angels, about everything. I've been teaching, as I said, as you read in the bio, thousands of people about how to communicate and connect, because it's changed my life in every way. It's changed every aspect of my life to the point where I have more peace. I worry less. I still need to work on my worry, but I worry less. I feel protected. I use the angels with my children, with my family. I am always in prayer with my angels, just asking for guidance, help, sending healing to other people. So it's enhanced every aspect of my life, my relationships, my purpose, my prosperity, my bank account, parking spots when I go to the mall. So, I really believe that they're here for every single one of us. And I'm not anybody special. When I went through this and when I discovered more, I had a very deep desire to connect and communicate with the angelic realm. And that's what we need to have. We need to have a deep desire to know the angelic realm, to know these messengers that God sent to us.
Karen, can I just ask you now, it was an amazing story that you tell and how you discovered the angels in your own life through the cancer experience and having it confirmed by the psychic like that, to have that just what you didn't even understand, to have it verified for you. But I'd like to ask you, you say you're not a special person. How can other people listening, how can they have the same experience? Is this for everyone? Can everyone have the same connection you have with angels?
Well, again, I think the most important is the desire and the willingness to open up, because everybody, when I talk about our guardian angels, what I believe, and again, I'm going to just share throughout the call what I believe to date, and these are seeds just planted out to everyone, and everybody can, investigate or explore or find out what resonates with them and work with some of it. But, I believe that we all have 2 guardian angels that God gifted us when we came here. So everybody has guardian angels, and your guardian angels, Cecily, are not my guardian angels, and my guardian angels are not yours. Mine are specifically gifted to me. And so in truth, we're never alone. In truth, they are always with us and around us. Now, it's our choice and our free will, because that's our greatest gift from God, is free will, to use them in our life, to let them be their role, because angel means messenger. So they are messengers. They bridge us from this world to the heavenly world, which really, there's not really a bridge. It's not separate. It's really one, but we're in this physical body, and sometimes we can't connect as easily. But I really believe everybody has an intuition, and we're using our intuition all the time. We're using it to make choices. Maybe our gut tells us that we need to take a certain step, or we're listening to our inner feelings when we meet somebody, and sometimes we say, oh, that person doesn't feel right to me, or that person, I want to get to know them. So we're using our intuition even when we're driving. Sometimes, should I go right? Should I go left? When we're not necessarily knowing our direction, or we don't have a GPS in the car, that we're using our intuition to guide us every day. Well, our intuition is connected to our higher self. It's connected to the divine, and that's how the angelic realm communicates through us. So it might come through a feeling, when you feel a presence around you. Like yesterday, I was doing a reading for a woman, and her mother was in spirit, and her mother kept telling me she was tapping her from spirit on the shoulder, to get her attention. And this woman said she was actually feeling that in her bed, or when she would wake up at night, she'd feel somebody tapping her on the shoulder. And so that feeling is around us, and the presence of the angels or loved ones in spirit are using our sense of feeling. Sometimes they're talking to us through our thoughts. So sometimes we might hear a message in our thought like, call this person, or go this way, or don't do that, or, believe in yourself. So sometimes they're speaking through our thoughts. Sometimes we see messages, or let's go back to hearing things or hearing thoughts. Sometimes they might send a song through the radio to get our attention.
I've had that happen.
Everybody, and sometimes it comes through visual. We might see sparks of light around us. We might see a shadow or feel like somebody just passed by us through the outer, the side view of our eye. Sometimes there's a big billboard that's an answer to a prayer that you've been asking about. So, we all have an intuition. We all have senses. So, yes, they can communicate through those senses. They can communicate through other people that act as earth angels for us. They can send people into our path. They can send opportunities to us. So, we all have an intuition. So if we all have an intuition, and I also believe that we are all the essence of the divine. We might have this physical body, but I believe we are all the divine within us. We have that spark of the divine, or some people call it child of God. But we are all in truth connected to the divine through our divine self. So our natural birthright is to be in communion or connection with the divine. Some people seek it through religion. Some people seek it through meditation. Some people seek it through connecting with their angels. So I do believe we all have the ability, but we can walk around with our eyes closed to that divine presence. We can walk around with our heart closed. It's a choice to open your heart, open your ears, open your eyes to sense and feel this whole different realm that's around us.
Well, Karen, let me just ask you now, then, I like the idea of opening your heart to the angels and being able to make that connection. Do you have some other ways to recommend how to strengthen that connection to your angels, or to be able to contact them more so people can feel them more as you have experienced?
Yeah, I mean, it's great because, just to go back to the book, there's a whole chapter on ways that you can, I call it raise your vibration. And what that means is if you can think of our vibration and the angel's vibration, it's energy. If you can think of a radio station, and there's many different channels to the radio station. You can turn it and you can listen to rock and roll. You can turn it and listen to country. You can turn it and listen to talk radio. Well, it's the same thing. There's tons of energy around us. There's energy through nature. There's energy through our loved ones in spirit. There's energy of the angelic realm. And it all exists at different vibrations or different channels. So in order to connect to the channel or the vibration of the angelic realm, because it is at a higher vibration, it moves quicker, you need to shift your vibration to connect, and also the angels shift their vibration to connect. So how you can do that is, one, the first thing that I talked about that I did was meditation.
Yes.
Spending time in, you can do guided meditation, which, I do have some guided meditation CDs to help connect with the angelic realm and your soul's energy. And then you can go out in nature. I think nature is a wonderful place to connect with the divine, to listen and feel the presence. You can chant is another great way. I've been getting more into chanting lately, and I chant in the car, and I actually love it.
It's a great place to do it in your car, right?
Well, because, I just, most of the time I'm driving in silence and praying, and other times I like chanting. Sometimes I want to listen to Maddie in the morning, But it depends where I'm at. But if I really want to connect and shift my vibration, I will definitely use chanting. Another way is to just sit in silence. Another way is to write a letter or a request or a wish list to the angels, and sometimes they can write back. Another way that you know about, Cecily, that we do a lot in classes, we use the angel oracle cards, which are wonderful to connect to the vibration of the angels and to get a message of divine guidance. So those are just some of the ways, but there's so many different ways. And, affirmations are a wonderful way to shift your vibration to believe and connect in the angelic realm.
I'm going to stop you now.
I would encourage people to find what resonates with them.
That makes sense. Absolutely. You've shared so much, Karen. I want to give the audience an opportunity to ask you any questions about what we've talked about so far. So I have the audience is muted out, but if you push five star on your phone, you'll essentially raise your hand, and I will unmute you, and you can ask Karen a question.
Yeah, and I love questions, just so they know, And sometimes what they're thinking about and want to ask other people on the call are wanting to ask.
Absolutely. It helps
the other thing I want to mention, Cecily, is a great way is creating a sacred space, and we do that in every class and we do it in workshops. But I also do it in my home. You've been here and seen some of the sacred spaces, but sometimes a special chair or a place by the window or even a place outdoors, just a place that you're going to commit to sitting in sacredness for yourself and also with the divine. That's also a wonderful way to connect.
I like that. I do have a place outside that I didn't even realize I was doing that when you said that. I do have a place I love to sit in silence outside in nature. That's great.
And also going back to the car. For me, sometimes I'm so busy and I don't necessarily, I have time, a half an hour to meditate this morning. I literally will spend that sacred time in the car because think about it. At least, when I'm driving alone, I'm with myself. I turn off the radio. I ask my angels for help or guidance, or I just listen to the quietness, or I just be in it. But you can imagine your guardian angel sitting in the passenger seat or behind and just connect and talk. I mean, I do. I use that time for that.
I like that. My guardian angel on the passenger seat. I'm going to do that. That's really cool. I think she would like that. Can you talk more about guardian angels a little bit more? And I know you have the story about when you got the name of your angel. I think that was a great story.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, again, and I think this is very natural, and I really want to talk about this first, is that many times when something's happening to us spiritually or with the angelic realm, we think we're making it up. We talked a little bit about this today, especially the messages that might come to us. Is that really from my angels? Am I making it up? And so when I first, would ask my guardian angel what her name was, I heard Angelina, and I kind of laughed at myself. I said, I must have made that up, Angelina. How cute is that? But, it's also our guardian angels don't necessarily have bodies. We create sometimes them in bodies so it's more comfortable for us. They're just a high vibration of light and energy. Our guardian angels have never been in a physical body, but sometimes our loved ones from spirit can feel like guardian angels. I get asked that a lot. Well, what if I think my grandmother is a guardian angel? Well, she is probably a guardian for you in many ways, but angels have never been in a physical body. So there's a meditation, and I do some classes on Meet Your Guardian Angel, but there's also in the book there's a meditation to meet your guardian angel. but everybody has a guardian angel. The other thing you can do, Cecily, and I didn't even talk about this yet, is you can meet your guardian angel in your dreams. You can set the intention before you go to sleep at night that you want to meet, connect, and remember your guardian angel when you wake up. And so it's a great time to pray or ask for guidance before you go to sleep, because we actually get out of the way. Our ego gets out of the way when we're in the dream state, and we can more easily travel to those higher vibrations.
Absolutely. That's a great
and you can even put a request on a piece of paper and put it under your pillow to set the intention. But one thing I want to encourage everyone to do is remember to ask to remember your dream or your experience with your guardian angel. So I personally, if I wanted to meet my guardian angel and what I know now, I would encourage everyone to keep asking, guardian angel, please make your presence known to me. Let me feel you. Let me see you. Let me hear you, because they want to communicate and connect just as much as we do. And so they know you better than you know yourself. They know your personality. They know what senses to connect. They know you so well that they know how to get your attention.
So that's great. So you just keep asking them, if that's in your heart, to be open and really want to meet your guardian angel. You just keep asking them, and they will show themselves to you in some way.
And you can ask your guardian angel for a sign. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a special sign, like I'm just going to make something up right now, but maybe you're really connected to blue jays, and you want to ask your guardian angel for the unmistakable sign of a blue jay to make their presence known through that blue jay, so you know that your guardian angel is around you. So you can see what happens, but, I would ask for something unmistakable, like you can't even question if that was your guardian angel giving you a sign. But, you can also put a time frame on it if you want it by, Friday or, later that day. But then be open and watch how you get that specific sign. Or you can just ask your guardian angel for any sign. It doesn't have to be specific. Like when we came, we're in a new house now. We bought this house at the end of October. And when we walked through the house was empty. And I felt the minute we came into the house that this was our house. But, you feel it, but still you got to go through the process. Well, on one of the doors of the bedrooms was one little plaque on the door, and it said, "I believe in angels." And I thought, okay, that is a sign.
Karen, I'm going to interrupt you because we have a question. Yeah. Somebody wants to ask you a question, so I'm going to unmute you. And you have your hand up. Your end of your phone number is 3181. Hello?
Yes, hi. This is Pat from Massachusetts.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I'm just wondering, what happens if you do all that stuff and you still don't feel as connected as you should? What else can you do? Because sometimes I'll do all that and I'll get a sign and then I don't get any other sign.
So can you explain that a little more, Pat?
So something's happening with me. Like I'll go in and I'll do the meditation and ask for help from my guardian angels, or if something's important, and then I'll get a sign that's very, like if it's really serious, I'll find something, or if not, I don't get the connection. Is that supposed to be that way? If it's just not supposed to be?
You mean you're not getting a sign when you're asking?
Right.
Okay. Sometimes, and this is just, I'm going to answer this from my perspective and what I've experienced when I ask for a sign and I don't get a sign about something specific. Either, this is what I've realized, that either the angels want me to do something else before something comes to fruition, or I have a lesson to learn, or they're trying to steer me in a different direction. So, again, I think if I knew more specifically what you were talking about, I could help you understand what the message might be. But I know for me, when I've asked for validation, like, show me a sign that this is the right direction for me to go, or that this is the answer to my prayer, and I don't get a sign, then there's a reason why I'm not getting it. There's something more I need to experience, or something is being learned. For example, I'll give you a specific example for myself, and then you can, if you want, you don't have to be specific, but for me, I was asked, I'm searching for a new location for my center, and I was asking Jesus when I found this location, I said, this is a very specific sign, but I said, Jesus, give me the sign of a mustard seed, because I was praying every day, and I felt Jesus was asking me to have faith and put the mustard seed in my heart. And so then I said, when I found this certain place that I saw, I said, if this is the right place, give me the sign of a mustard seed. Well, I got nothing. Nothing happened. And so then of course, I get discouraged. I'm like, okay, why? But I realized that as the process went on longer of searching, I got clear about what I wanted. And my vision and my purpose changed of what the center was at that point when I saw the first point and what it is now. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. It does make a lot of sense, yeah, because what happens is when you're asking for something, if you don't ask for specific or no for sure, then they can't help either, right?
Right, because sometimes, that's why I like specific signs sometimes, because when I've asked for specific signs, I have gotten it, most definitely. And sometimes it's like, sometimes I'll ask for an undeniable sign that I cannot question, not necessarily saying I want a star. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And when I've asked for it and I've gotten it, I know that that's where I'm meant to be. I know that that's the direction. So I've done it so many times that I trust that if I get the sign, that's it, and if I don't, there's something more coming.
So the point is, just don't get discouraged and expect it to be overnight sometimes.
Exactly. And that's with any prayer. That's if we're praying for ourselves. This is a very good question, Pat. That's if we're praying for ourselves, and that's if we're praying for others too. Because sometimes we don't know what our highest and best is, but God does.
Yes.
We don't know what others' highest and best is, but God does. We don't know what our soul lessons are, but God does. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But I wouldn't stop asking.
No. Never stop asking. That was just sometimes you just get very discouraged, so you try to figure it out,
I agree. It's called patience.
I know. Sometimes we don't have that.
Right. But I'm so glad you asked that question because I feel that's a very common question that I get from a lot of people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Pat, thanks so much for speaking up. Anyone else have a question for Karen at this point?
I love questions. Well, it's because, you don't know sometimes when you're on a teleconference, and, I've been doing more and more of these lately, that you don't know what the thought, if you're in a classroom, people are more apt to ask a question, but, when you're on a call like this, it's so valuable when people ask questions because I bet you there are other people listening that are thinking, wow, that really helped me.
Yes.
So by asking a question, sometimes you're not only helping yourself, you're helping other people on the call.
Always.
And it gives us something specific,
Absolutely. So it looks like right now, though, we're getting, Pat was brave.
Okay. That's okay.
We'll take another pause in a little bit and give people a chance. So, as I said, you like having questions, and I think it can be valuable. So we will stop again at another spot and see what other questions people might have at that point. So, Karen, just looking at the time and what we've been talking about here is, I'm thinking about communication with the angels, and as you just had talked with Pat about not giving up. But how can people know that they have these, they already have a communication, that it's maybe something that they've been experiencing as a child.
You must have been connected to what I was thinking, because I was thinking I'd love to talk about signs, synchronicities, coincidences.
That's what I was hoping for. But we do have another question, so before you go on into that, Karen, let me see what we have someone else here. Okay, so I've just unmuted. Phone number ends in 0069. Hello?
Yes, hello. Hello, my name is Andy, calling from Canada.
Oh, hi, Andy.
And hi, I was on the last call. And again, I don't really have a question. What I do have is a comment, because I believe in God and I believe in angels and everything as well. And what I've been listening to, and I've heard this many, many times, people ask for a sign if we should do something. And then they don't get a sign, and they wonder, well, what should I do? But you got your answer. You asked specifically for a sign if you should do something. The way I see it is the fact that you didn't get a sign, that's your answer. No, you probably shouldn't do that. So you got answered, but people, being human, it's like a little kid that wants to go out and play, and they just keep asking, but you keep answering no, but that's not the answer they want to hear. Yeah. I do believe you get your answer, but see, because we don't say, if you want me to do this, show me a pizza in the sky, and if you don't want me to do this, show me a great big balloon. We don't give God options. We just give him, can you say the answer that I want to hear, please? And sometimes he doesn't answer.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I feel like our prayers are always being answered. And, it goes, one of the big lessons working with the angelic realm is learning the lesson of trust and working, and with God, trusting God, but also we learn about trusting ourselves on this journey. And we need to trust sometimes that our prayers are always being answered. It's our ego that gets in the way. But this isn't the way I thought should be answered. Why wasn't it answered this way? How come it's not now? But our prayers are always being heard and always being answered. It just might not be in our way and in our time. It's called divine time.
It's like that country and western singer that says, thank God for unanswered prayer.
Yeah. Because sometimes an unanswered prayer, this is what's coming to me in the moment, helps us find the power within ourselves to find our way, too. My partner, Louie, and I, this is a great analogy, but my partner, Louie, and I, we facilitate breath work. And it's a circular breathing technique. We just did it last night, so that's probably why this analogy comes to me. But when we started facilitating breath work over 7 years ago, it was very natural that our ego wanted to get in and help them and, rescue them and give Reiki to them, or when they're crying, comfort them. But as we've learned over the years, when our ego steps back, we've found that by not touching them or not going into their space, they find a way to get through it, and they find a strength in getting through their stuff. So sometimes the angels are providing the space and the love and the divine help around us, but sometimes God is saying, you have the answer, or you have the power. Does that make sense?
It most certainly does.
Yeah. So I'm so glad you brought that up, and I'm so glad you shared that, because it is a very important, God and the angels don't do everything for us. We're here on a journey. We're here to find our own sense of divine self. We're here to find our power, our strength, our intuition. And sometimes the divine walks in front of us. Sometimes the divine walks behind us. Sometimes the divine walks side by side. Sometimes the divine walks within us. But sometimes we need to walk the walk and experience what's going on. We can always ask for help, and it's always there. But sometimes we have to feel and experience the journey.
Right. Well, bless you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate your comments and question. Thank you. Anyone
that was
else?
great because it helped to go into that space. I do believe that's true.
It is, definitely.
And important.
Mhm. Absolutely. Anyone else have a question before we go on to synchronicities and coincidences? Well, okay. Karen, it's all yours.
Okay, so I love talking about synchronicities, coincidence, God winks. I remember that it being called God winks by somebody on the path.
That's a great phrase. I haven't heard that. That's terrific.
Yeah, about God winks. And this is how the divine, it's almost, I always call myself Scooby-Doo in the mystery. And there's all these clues that the universe guides or directs or comforts us with. And, I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the signs, coincidences, and synchronicities that I've experienced, or clients or students, and if other people want to share too. But sometimes it can come through, we talked about songs. Sometimes both spirit and our loved ones want to communicate, and you'll hear a song that's either familiar or also the words might be telling you something. So that can be a coincidence. I remember being at a ballpark with my kids or trying to buy tickets outside of the ballpark. And, I was just praying that, my son's sitting there with his glove and his bat. He was young and he's waiting for it. And I didn't, we were just out there trying to buy tickets. And I was starting to get a little concerned that it wasn't going to happen. And I remember looking up, and there was a billboard right up above me, huge billboard, and it said, "Keep the faith." And I thought, okay, all right, I need to change my perspective and really believe. And we did get tickets, but it can come through billboards. It can come through anybody experience dimes or pennies from heaven.
Yes.
And that's a big one for me. I get dimes from heaven. And yesterday, I literally had a dime. I had flip-flops on, and I was going through a challenging experience, and I literally had a dime fall on the top of my foot. I don't know where it came from, and I looked down and I thought, okay, I'm not alone. I'm being helped right now, and that was, to me, a very significant coincidence. I didn't care where it came from at that point, because dimes and pennies, especially dimes, their energy is so light, it's very easy for spirit to manipulate. So check how dimes might be dropped in the most obscure ways or places. The other thing is flickering of lights. Sometimes spirit tries to get connected to us or get our attention by turning on and off the lights. Sometimes you'll pick up the phone and nobody's there. They can communicate very easily through electricity, the TV going on and off. That's a sign, that's a synchronicity. It also can be your electric bill wasn't paid. I don't know. As we joke sometimes a cup of coffee is just a cup of coffee. You can start interpreting everything. But I always look for signs, synchronicity, and coincidence. I always say, notice things in threes. If you hear somebody's name 3 times, you've got a message. If somebody mentions something 3 times, pay attention. If you have a dream over and over and over again, your soul or your subconscious is trying to get your attention about something. So repetitive experiences can be the universe and the angels trying to get your attention. I believe any little trinkets you find, like angel coins or messages that have words written on it, can be an answer to a prayer that is a coincidence. Like I remember walking through the park one day, and just maybe I think my confidence was low at that time, and I remember looking down, there was this little silver flash on the ground, and I picked it up, and it was so small, but it said, big things come in small packages. And I was like, oh, that's for me. I was like so excited. But, even, finding things can be a message from heaven.
Yes.
So I'm always Scooby-Doo on the mystery. I'm always trying to see how the universe is trying to talk to me. If I get an opportunity through an email or a phone call, and it might be an answer to a prayer maybe about my work, I always follow the clue, even if it might not lead me somewhere. It's like connecting the dots. It might bring me closer to something else I need to realize.
It's really being open to these signs and then paying attention, being aware that there is things that are repeated, or that you notice something. You even look down to see a penny, to be able to, or a dime, and be able to be open to receive those ideas.
Absolutely. The other day, this one was an interesting experience for me. I kept getting the message because I'm, between listening to things on Oprah and the whole texting thing. Not that I can't even text, so I don't text in my car or anything like that.
That's good.
I kept getting guidance. Get a Bluetooth, and I was like, oh. And I kept hearing it over and over again. And then one day, I was at Starbucks. I came out of Starbucks. Of course, I'm multitasking. I drop my phone, and the screen shatters. And I'm like, oh, my God. And that was it. I thought, all I heard was, this screen can shatter. Do you want your windshield to shatter next? And I was like, I went straight to the Verizon store, and I bought a Bluetooth. And I knew that was a sign I need to pay attention to. I didn't like it, but I said, if you don't listen, something, it really was a very strong sign for me.
Yep.
So that's the way, and that's the next thing. Then your job is to pay attention. I mean, we can all walk around unconsciously. We can all walk around, and there can be signs everywhere. There can be communication from the divine everywhere, but if we're not paying attention, and I love this analogy, I use this in workshops all the time. You know how, this is how the angels work, okay? So now you're on the call tonight, and everybody might be more curious, want to learn more, want to connect more with their angels, want to experience coincidence and synchronicities. But your job after tonight, because I believe when anybody attends a workshop with the energy of the angels, when anybody comes for a reading with me, something
not a coincidence.
Right. And something opens up because they have the desire, which I mentioned, that's what I had, and they are more open. So then things start happening. So I used the analogy of when I went and bought my last car. I decided that I was going to get a Toyota, so I went to the dealership, and my son and I test drove a RAV4, a silver one. And so we test drove it, and then we came back to the dealership, and I said, I want to think about it. And as we're driving home, what do I notice all over the road? RAV4. Oh, there's a RAV4. Oh, there. Oh, it's silver. Look, there's silver RAV4s
everywhere.
And were they always on the road? Of course they were. But you know what? I was driving the road, and I wasn't paying attention. Are the angels always around us? And are we paying attention to how they're trying to work with us, connect with us, protect us, guide us? So your job, and everybody on the call, is to really pay attention to the signs, synchronicities, coincidences, the feelings, when you ever get chills down your back, when a stranger crosses your path with a very important message, that's the divine talking to you.
So that's a practice that people can leave this call and start doing to actually develop the connection more with their angels. So just paying attention and being more aware.
And you can even keep a journal. It's like a gratitude journal. When you keep a gratitude journal and you practice writing 10 things you're grateful for every day you start noticing more things you can write down that you're grateful for. And it's the same thing with a synchronicity, coincidence, and miracle journal is that you start marking down the coincidences, the miracles, all the things that happen. You're going to start noticing more.
You make connect the dots, as you said.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Karen, can you talk more about how the angels can help us? What can we expect that they can do?
So I believe that angels can help us in every single aspect of our lives. They can help us physically. They can help us spiritually. They can help us emotionally. They can help us in our relationships. They can help us with our finances. So the most important thing is we need to ask for help, and I think we've talked about that, but let's get specific about that. So let's say, some people are struggling with finances or job-related, but let's stick with finances first. I'm hearing stick with finances first.
Well, it's a hot topic right now.
Yeah, and there are specifically angels that can help you with finances. There's Archangel Bachiel that can help, and Archangel Raziel will help with specifically prosperity and abundance. But there's also prosperity angels around you. So how do we ask for help? Well, again, I always believe we need to play our part. So ask yourself, are you open to receive? Do you feel worthy and deserving of receiving more financial ease, abundance, and freedom? And then our part is to change the way we believe. So we might need to say affirmations to draw the energy to us and change our belief system. There is more than enough out there. I am open to receive opportunities and experiences of abundance. I am open to receive unexpected money. So we ask the divine to show us either the opportunities or the connections that will bring us more financial abundance and prosperity, but also I will literally say to the angels, show me the money. Like if there's something, I remember wanting to take my hypnosis certification about 11 years ago. I felt very drawn to be a hypnotherapist, and I was doing a lot of meditation, but I knew I could help people on a deeper level. So I wanted to be certified as a hypnotherapist, but I didn't have the money. So I ended up asking the angels to show me the money. If this was in my highest and best, and it was in, I was on the right path, and it was the right time for me to do it. And I remember finding my daughter had an easy bake oven in the basement. She went up and said, Mom, can we do this? And it had been down there for a year. And I said, I don't know. We have to find the mixes. And so I took it out of the box, and there was a check for over $800 in the box that I had never cashed when I was in my sales career.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And I ended up calling my boss and saying, was this a check ever cashed? He's like, no, do you want me to reissue one? I'm like, yes, thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
So it paid for like 3/4 of the course. And so it can come in miraculous ways like that, but sometimes you might be shown an opportunity that will help you be more abundant, or a path or an investment. So you want to ask the angels to show you or guide you or help you believe in prosperity, but you also need to believe it's there for you.
Yes.
And then ask, pay attention, and then be open to take action. And that's really important when you're asking for help in any aspect of your life. So let's go now to relationship. Let's say you're seeking a soulmate, okay? These are the most common sometimes. Let's say you want a soulmate, okay, or a soul partner. And again, you need to ask. I would make a wish list of what you really, really want and give it to your angels. You can put it in a God box. You can just surrender it to your angels, but make your wish list of what you want. And let's say the angels start working behind the scenes to help you or bring that perfect person that matches your desires. And somebody asks you to go to a specific place. They invite you. And you're like, I don't want to meet any new people. I want to stay home tonight. Well, your job is to be Scooby-Doo on the mystery and follow the clues. So you just got to do it and go follow the guidance or the opportunities that are presented to you, because that might be where your connection is. Now, again, the angels don't give up, so they'll give you another opportunity. But you need to ask, then pay attention, but then take action.
Take action.
As I said, we take a step, but the angels take a step with us.
Absolutely. That's really an important aspect of the taking the action, too. So we're getting close to the hour. I just wanted to...
Are we?
Yeah.
I don't have my clock in here. I'm relying totally on you.
I know. We could go all night, Karen. This has just been such a great call with so much stuff. But I wanted to give you a quick opportunity to tell about some things that are coming up and some of the things that you have to offer. And then we want to open up for any final questions anybody has.
Okay. So. Well, I know you guys are offering, do you want to give the location of the meditation CDs that I have, the Angel Attunement?
Yes. You just talk about them, and then we'll give the link at the end.
Okay. So I have 3 meditation CDs. One is the Angel Attunement, which helps you raise your vibration to connect and communicate and pray and ask with the angels. And so that's the Angel Attunement. Then there's Spark the Light CD, which is 2 guided meditations. All of them are guided. And that one is about connecting with your higher self or your soul and listening and getting guidance from your soul. And also the second one is about manifesting what you want in your life. Mm-hmm. And then the third one is the Hypnosis for Weight Loss CD. As I said, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. So that gives you all the suggestions, everything you need to achieve your goals in exercise, weight loss, and letting go of cravings and desires. And then I have an angel certification course that I only take 20 people. It's beginning on Monday nights, May 17th from 6:30 to 9:30. For anybody that's local, that's a fabulous 10-week class. Cecily has taken that class.
Yes,
she's in the advanced class now.
I highly recommend it. Definitely, if you're in the Massachusetts area or in New England area and you want to travel to Karen's class, people come from all over New England to take that class.
No, they do. And I'm also going to be developing a telecourse for that. So make sure you go to my website, createheaven.com, and sign up for the newsletter. And so you'll get information about all the classes. And then I have workshops. I have a center in Abington, which is going to definitely grow bigger because I'm moving to a bigger location. And there's workshops every month. I have a card reading workshop that's coming up, Meet Your Guardian Angel workshop. And if anybody wants to host a workshop too, I'm open to speaking in other areas and other centers or in your area. I love doing that too, and I can come and do readings for the day. Also, that's the other thing. If anybody wants an angel reading, they're very helpful. You can read about them on the website. But I do 30-minute, 45-minute readings, and I can see what angels, guides, loved ones are around you, and then give messages of divine guidance. And you can ask questions, but they're very helpful, and there's just a lot of guidance that comes through. I think that's it. And again, you can go.
We have a teleconference coming up next on the 15th.
Oh, next week. That's about creating prosperity and abundance with Archangel Raziel and Archangel Barakiel, and that is next Thursday, the 13th. And you can go to my website and get the link to sign up for that telecourse. And that's specifically, we're going to be doing a meditation. We're going to be working with prayers and these archangels about how you can specifically create more prosperity and abundance in your life. So that'll be a powerful one. And then also my books are available on my website, and I highly recommend both of them. They're 2 different but divinely connected books.
Great.
Well, thank you for helping remember everything. There's too much to remember sometimes.
So just to let people know then, if you want to learn more about Karen's products, you can go to Light Beam Academy, LIGHTBEAM Academy, ACADEMY. It's a long one, but it's .com, and then it's /Heaven on Earth. which is the name of Karen's business, Heaven on Earth. And there'll be things there posted on how you can get Karen's products. So we really hit the hour, Karen. So we're running out of time for questions. But you want to just wrap up, and any final thoughts you'd like to say to our audience tonight after this? I just want to thank you for such an incredible amount of information.
I really enjoyed this.
It's just been great to listen to you, and I've been your student, and I learned some new things too. So it was definitely an incredible session, and I just give you the final opportunity to sort of wrap up your thoughts tonight.
Yes. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming into the call today and just being open to hear. And I really want you to just take the opportunity after this call to be open. And if you choose to have the desire to connect with the angelic realm, and allow them to communicate with you as much as you want to communicate with them. So pay attention, be open, notice the signs, synchronicities, and coincidences, and please don't forget to ask for anything and everything in every aspect of your life. It can go from a parking spot to help in relationships to physical healing, to help with your life purpose, but they will help you in every aspect of your life. And most importantly, remember you are never, ever alone, and the angels love you so dearly and unconditionally, and just allow them to be a part of your life. It's such a gift and a miracle to have them co-create and walk the journey with you.
Oh, thank you so much. That was a beautiful way to end. I just wanted to take one more second and say we do have another Light Beam Hour coming up on May 19th. That's Wednesday it's again 4 p.m. Pacific time or 7 p.m. Eastern time. And my guest at that point will be Karen Keith. And Karen is a happiness coach, and she's going to talk about her work doing that on the 19th. So look for that event coming up. And thank you again for participating. We have one question. Pat has a question, so I'm going to go back to Pat. You have a question for Karen?
Hi, I'm actually on here because of Karen, so yes. I'm not exactly sure what your seminars are every month. Could you just tell me that real quick?
Well, I'm sorry, Pat. What was the question?
I'm actually on here because of you, Karen. We signed up for one of your next week's course.
Oh, great. Well, that's a great...
Yeah. So I don't know what the other person's all about.
Well, I'm just doing twice a month I interview different people who have different ways of sharing their gifts with the world, and Karen was on my list as people to interview, and so in each session I bring in someone who has something to offer, particularly in a spiritual path or helping people to enhance their life and expand who they are personally. So they're hand-picked gifts, and they are the best of the best, hopefully. So I hope
but you're also a life coach.
Oh, yes, that's not all that I do. So
yeah.
Yes. But these particular sessions. So Pat, if you'd like to join us on next Wednesday too, we'd love to have you. There will be continuous. Like I said, up twice a month I will be doing these, so you can watch for other.
An email like you did today.
Yes, I will. We'll be on Facebook, and we'll send how we set it up. If you've registered for this class, you'll get a notification of the next one. So that was a great question.
Sorry to interrupt, but I didn't know.
No, that's great, Pat. Thank you for asking. I didn't really explain that up front, and probably a good idea to set the stage so people understand what that is. So that's terrific. Thank you so much. Anything? And another thought for Karen?
No, I'm sorry. What, Cecily?
Oh, Pat, I was just going to say, did you have anything else to say to Karen?
No, I'll be talking to her next week.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Many blessings, everyone.
All right. Absolutely. A great way to end. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here for the Light Beam Hour. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.